Your company has a fascinating history and story, and even the name is interesting. Share with us a little bit. First of all, the correct pronunciation is Pasha.
Correct. P-A-S-H-A, Pasha. It's a mutilated French name.
Okay.
The origin is a great-grandfather of mine immigrated from France, Lyon, with his brother. He was 14 years old, couldn't speak English. His name was Pierre Cyprien Paget. They put him in the Union Army and gave him a new name. In order to collect his disability checks after the war, kept the wrong name.
That's fascinating. And how did the company get founded?
My father started right at the beginning of World War II. He had a couple of gas stations in San Francisco, one across the street from Fort Mason. And of course, December of '41, the war began, gasoline rationing came in. Being across the street from Fort Mason, he started storing military families' privately owned vehicles. And ultimately, after the war, started trucking them to their final destinations, which that started a 3-truck automobile trucking company. About that time, I graduated from high school, was driving a truck for my father, and then became a partner of his, and the rest is history.
When did it evolve into shipping?
When I was about 22 or 3 years old, a friend of mine and I bid on some piers at Fort Mason. But a year later, the president of Toyota, then a very small company, startup with Corollas, asked if we could put their ship over there. The first ship came into Fort Mason with 200 Toyotas in 1960-ish. And that was the beginning of our terminal and our maritime group. We were in the right position at the right time. I don't think it was any genius on my father or my part, but I think timing and hard work and honesty and integrity paid off. And ultimately we ended up with a very successful company. And more important is the employees of the company, which are family to us and we hope to them. So we're really a service organization, and that means employees are the key to success. Ultimately, our own ambition turned into reality when we built the Gennaula, named after my mother. The Gennaula was the first major asset, outside of a few trucks that we were running, to bring more sophisticated enclosed car carrier to the Hawaiian Islands.
Now you do more than just ship vehicles, though.
That's correct. We've carried rock crushers and buses and cranes and shipping helicopters. We're bringing 100 and some Striker, which are small, look like tanks. So we're very proud of the military involvement that we have with the Gennaula.
Did you ever imagine when you were that kid out of school driving a truck that it would be this massive in your lifetime?
No, I don't think I did. And in fact, driving a truck for my father in those days was probably the happiest days of my life. It was a wonderful feeling. Our family has been very fortunate. All 5 of my children are involved in the company. All have responsible positions and are all doing quite well.
How large is Pasha now?
We're global. We have the shipping line, Pasha Hawaii, which you all know, living out here in the islands, we're dependent upon ocean transportation for canned goods to automobiles and construction equipment and supplies. We have terminal operations handling steel and other cargoes in Southern California and on the East Coast. We handle a lot of automobile customers globally. Military privately owned vehicles, 80,000 cars a year that we move worldwide. Military household goods, we have global contracts, and we have 1,000 white-collar employees and several thousand union employees working in our various divisions.
Now that you've moved into your role and you've passed the baton on to your son, what are some of your thoughts about the future for Pasha?
Well, we're very excited about the Marjorie C. She's bigger than the Gennaula by 100 feet longer. She has stronger decks and will be able to carry 750 containers. The Gennaula is limited to about 50, and we're looking at adding to our fleet in the future.
What would you say gives you the most satisfaction?
Watching the success of the company and the employees in the company. We hire primarily from within, and watching youngsters coming into the organization at 20 to 25 years old, with or without a college degree. We help them get degrees. We have an education program. Our family and our company is dedicated to education. We think it's very important.
So recently you've faced some health challenges in the last 10 years or so?
True. That's correct.
And so tell me about what impact that's had on you.
A little over 10 years ago, I was diagnosed with throat cancer, and they gave me 6 months to go, but a very good friend of mine managed to get me involved with a trial drug. And that trial drug, the stars were aligned. The doctors down there, when they said, "Looks like you beat it," I said, "Do you guys believe in miracles?" And they said, "We do now." So that was a new awakening for me. And the doctors have told me that attitude is 50% of the battle. Don't give up hope. Get a second opinion if somebody tells you you're going to die. And don't do what the doctor says. And also, besides hope and prayer, your attitude should be positive, and you can beat it if you try.
So what's your secret to successfully handing off the company from one generation to the next?
I was concerned that with having 5 children, equity, that we believe that they should all be treated equal. They're all different, and they all have different talents, and they have different problems. We were very concerned. I went to school with a bunch of trust babies. I said, my children will never be trust babies. They're going to get all the love and education that I can give them. They didn't have a BMW in high school. During the summer months, as they grew up, they all were pulling weeds in parking lots and doing menial tasks. And I didn't have a master plan, but when they got out of school, from college, I said, you know, if you want to come to work for the company, you can, but not this year. You go out for at least 2 years and go get a real job and figure out what this world is all about. And if you, at the end of a couple of years, you bring some skills, you're welcome to come back in, and each one of them did.
What would you say were some of the most important things that you learned from your father, and what do you hope that you've imparted to your son as he takes the lead?
Well, I think family was very important to my father. Obviously, he suffered some setbacks in his early days, but he survived, and hard work never hurt anyone. In fact, it builds character. Those were tough days during the Depression, and I think I've learned that lesson from him, and I've imparted that, I hope, to my children, and so that is reason for our success, I believe.
You don't want to just relax now? You're still working pretty hard.
Never. I think, yes, I enjoy working hard, and the harder I work, the more fun I have. It's fun. Now that I'm chairman, it's much more fun and less responsibility. So we're enjoying the business, and I don't intend to retire.